recoil gun. Let's talk about recoil gun now. So if you mention recoil gun, what comes into your mind? So first, let's define recoil gun. A recoil gun of a rifle is operating in such a way that when the bullet is shot out of its gun, the gun will move the person holding the gun backwards. Then the momentum of the recoil of the gun is equal to the momentum of the bullet. Do you understand what this statement means? This means that, so remember all those times you are watching film, or if you have ever seen a person trying to shoot a gun, or if you have seen people or military shooting gun, you notice that when they are shooting this gun, their hands will shake. This is the reason why a human being cannot just wake up and start shooting gun, and someone can't be accurate, because you can be accurate but you know that be accurate because of this force. As he tries to put the bullet out of the gun, a force will be generated that tends to move you backward, which will reduce the rate of your accuracy. So let's go back to the Newton's law. So Newton's law is equals to F1 is equals to F2, and this F1 is equals to F2. We now have, remember that F1 is equals to F2. We now have that force is equals to what? MA. So from F1 is equals to F2, we now have that M1 A1 is equals to M2 A2. But remember that acceleration is equals to velocity over time. Acceleration is the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. So if acceleration is velocity over time, so we're going to replace acceleration here into this equation. So anywhere you see acceleration, we are going to multiply it by v over t. So m1 times v over t, we now have mv over, so we now have mv over t, because we have substituted a for v over t. So this is applicable to m2 u2 a2. So m2, here is m1, so here is m2. So remember that a is equals to v over t. So substituting acceleration in the equation, so we now have m2 times v or t. So t will multiply here and t will multiply here. We're going to cross multiply this. So mv times t, we have m1 v1 multiplied by t, which is equals to m2 v2 multiplied by t. So but during this time, when someone tries to shoot gun or try to shoot the bullet away from his gun, is the time is equal, like the time in which the man pulls the bullet from the gun is equal to the momentum it exerts during that time. So since t is equals to t, so we have to cancel them out, because they are the same thing. So leaving us with m1 v1, which is equals to m2 v2. So remember that momentum is the product of mass and its velocity. When we treated momentum, if you don't understand momentum, so go back to my previous video where you are going to see and understand momentum. Remember that we said that momentum is what? Mass times velocity, the product of mass and its velocity. So from here, this m1 v1 is the mass of the gun, so it is going to be big, and this is the velocity of the gun, and here is the mass of the bullet, so it's going to be small, and v is the velocity of the bullet, so it's going to be small. So when solving equations or problems on recoil gun, how are you going to know the bullets of the gun, and how are you going to know the mass of the gun and the mass of the bullets applicable to the velocity of the gun and the velocity of the bullets? So you are going to know this by the one with bigger mass should be the mass of the gun, the one with lesser mass should be the mass of the bullet, the one with bigger acceleration should be the velocity of the bullets, because the velocity of the bullets is the one that is being pulled out, so it's going to travel a long distance, while the velocity of a gun will just move a little distance. So the velocity of the gun should be far smaller compared to the velocity of the bullet. So let's practice question. First, solution. What is the, just feel free to pause this video, use that formula and try working this one. I know that I've never solved anything, but try doing it. This will tell you whether you are understanding it or not. So let's practice this question. What is the velocity of a recoil of a gun rifle of mass 5 kg from which a bullet of mass 10 kg is fired at a velocity of 250 meters per second? First, what were we asked to calculate the velocity of the recoil gun? First, let's write our formula. mv over mv, where here is the momentum of the bigger body and here is the momentum of the bullet. So we are asked to calculate the velocity of the rifle gun, and we are given the mass of the gun and the mass of the bullet. So you should notice something, in case if you failed the question, you should notice something, that in this question the mass of gun was bigger than the mass of the bullet, so which means the question is not correct. So which means that here should be gram, not kilogram. So which means that here should be gram, not kilogram. So this is the mistake which was from the question. So in case if you are solving and you see gram, you should convert the gram to what? To kilogram. Thank God I found out this mistake. So what is the velocity of a recoil of a gun rifle of mass 5 kg for which a bullet of mass 10 gram is fired at a velocity of 250 meters per second? So what is the mass of the gun? 5 kg times what? The velocity which we are looking for is equals to the mass of the bullet. The mass of the bullet is 10 grams. So converting 10 grams to kilogram, we divide by 1000. 0 cancel 0, so we now have 0.01 kilogram. You see, now the mass of the gun is bigger compared to the mass of the bullet. So this is one thing you should note when solving equations or problem facing recoil gun. So now we have the mass, the correct mass of the bullet. So we are going to add it, so I'm substituting in the equation. So 0.01 kilogram times the velocity of the recoil gun, which is 250. So making V the simplest of formula, because we are asked to calculate the velocity of the recoil gun. So V will now be equals to 0.01 times 250 over 5. Just press this in your calculator and tell us the answer. So the answer should be 0.5 meters per second. This unit is very important when solving equation. They are very important, because if you solve equation and you didn't put the units in physics, they will believe that there is nothing like this. So after solving something or equation and you get the answer, please put the unit, is very important. Or you can also go ahead and solve it this way, or 1.01 times 250, which is equals to 2.5, and we have 5V is equals to 2.5. Remember that 0.01 times 250 is 2.5, so V is now equals to 2.5 over 5. So V is now equals to 0.05 meters per second, or 0.05 meters per second. So all this is correct. So this is what I have for you in Newton's laws of motion, in Newton's third law of motion. So don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video to your friends who are ready to learn if you feel this video was helpful. Thank you and goodbye.